Okay, we're solving problem A from the section on solving equations with powers and roots. And this was the problem you were given. You'll notice this has multiple roots in it. It has a fourth root, a cubed root, and a square root, and we have to undo them all. And there's quite a bit going on, but hopefully we can think our way through it. But the big question is, what do we do first, and what order do we start approaching this problem? Again, I'm starting to become a little repetitious, but we're going to work from the outside in. And outside here doesn't always mean left or right or furthest away. Outside means the last thing to operate on x. So as I look at this x, I see that it was first operated with the square root. Second, it was operated with this -1. And then all of that together was operated with a cubed root. Then that was operated on by the -1, and then all of that was taken to the fourth root. So if I look through, I can kind of see the sequence in which all of these things are nested inside of each other. And now my goal is to peel those off one layer at a time by undoing them one operation at a time. My first step here is to look for the outermost operation, which is the fourth root, and I will undo the fourth root by taking it to a fourth power. So fourth powers undo fourth roots. And so these two undo each other, and all that's left is a -1 plus the cubed root of -1 plus the square root of x. And then on the right side over here, we've got -1 to the fourth power. 4 is an even number, so since we have 4 negative signs, they end up being a positive sign, and we get just a +1 over here. Now as I look at the problem, I see the outside part now appears to be this -1, and so I need to get rid of this -1 by adding 1. As I added 1, what was left over was the cubed root of -1 plus the square root of x. And then over here on the right, I've got 1 plus 1, which is 2. Again, so notice that the cubed root, the x was inside the cubed root, and then the cubed root operated on it, and this -1 was just all by itself over here on the right. So that allowed us to get it first because it was the outermost. Now, what's the outermost term here? The outermost term here is now this cubed. So to get rid, or this cubed root. So to get rid of this cubed root, I will cube. As always, we cube both sides to keep everything balanced in our equation. This cube and this cube root undo each other, leaving just -1 plus the square root of x is equal to, we raise 2 to the third power, 2 times 2 is 4, times another 2 is 8. So we get 8 for our result. As I look at these, the -1 appears to be the outside part, so I will undo it first. And that gives me the result, square root of x is equal to 8 plus 1, which is 9. Let's give myself a little bit more space, so I'll draw a little arrow here, and we'll rewrite what we had. This is just so you all can see what's going on. I'm just going to rewrite the same thing. One last step. The last step is to get rid of the square root sign. You have learned by this point in the lesson that we get rid of the square root by squaring. The square root of x squared is just x. The square root and the square undo each other. On this side we have 9 squared, which is 81. And so there's our solution, x equals 81. I hope that went well, and good luck solving the rest of your problems.